Hello, so today I'm going to do a test on this ZENDURE, and this is an A8 Pro. Yep, an A8 Pro 2000. If you can see this, I'll try and get it as clear as possible. I'll try and go a bit nearer and then slowly come away, so just in case it's hard to see. There's a 25,600 milliamp battery on this one, on the ZENDURE A8 Pro. Okay, and this is a Z5 Sony phone. Now, I've done a test already with a mixx charge 15,000 milliamp battery. If you haven't seen that video, you can go and check that out. I'll try and put a link up the top there for you somewhere. Um, and basically, the 15,000 milliamp on that was showing up really as 7,500. Now, in order to do this test, this one is a lot older than that one. That one was a brand new one, um, and so it should have been pretty accurate, but it wasn't. But I'm doing more tests on that anyway. But this is just a test today on the ZENDURE. Now, in order to get as close a test to this as possible, I'm not running anything in the background on this phone. I'll just try and switch it on, and you'll see it's dead, right? I've run the battery down completely, so I'm going to plug this in. And we're going to see at the moment we are on 8%, but this could be close to 7%. Just because it says 8, it could be nearer to 7. So to be accurate, what I'm going to do with this test, I want to see how far up it can charge this phone with 8% left. Now, in order to do this, what I'd have to do is the 2560 milliamp battery in this unit. If I divide that by 100, it comes to 256 milliamps per percentage. So all I've got to do is on this phone, there's 2,900, and if I divide that by 100, I get 29. So for every percent on this is 29, for every percent on this is 256. So if I've got 8% on this, for instance, and I was to times sort of multiply 256 by 8%, that would come to 2048 milliamps. Now, if I divide that by 29, which is every percent on this one, it comes to 70%. If, on the other hand, this has got 7% nearer to, then that's 1,792. And I divide that by 29 on this, and I get 61. So basically, the bottom line is I should be getting between 70% on here or 61. So 61 if it's 7% on this, or if it's 8% top end, then it should be about 70. So anything between 61 and 70% is our target. Okay, so I'm going to start charging it now. I'm not going to turn the phone on. I've got all these different like connections for different things, so I'm just going to plug it in, and you can see it's lit up 8%, and that should start kicking in a sec. There we go, it says Sony, and we're on 8% now. Um, it won't turn on fully. What it will do, it just light up to say it's charging, and that's it. And I'll just tap the power button so you can see I'm not turning it on. I'm just letting it run. There we go. It's on 0%. Let's just hold it there a second. There you go. 1% straight away. It will just kick in. It always generally does that. We'll just wait a second and we'll see how long it takes to go to 2%. And like I say, this is on 8. So our target, if it's very accurate, is like I say, it should be about 61 to 70% on this Z5. Okay, now when I did the test, as I say, if you watch the other video, the mixx charge which I got from Asda, that was 15,000 milliamp battery, and on my first test of that one, it was only showing us half of what I should have got. I should have got like 20%, should have gave me 100% battery on this phone, and it didn't. It did 40%. So basically, that means that I was getting half of the battery. However, I'm doing more tests through the 3.0 socket, so I want to see if there's a difference on that. But I'm just going to tap this, the power button because I'm not turning it on. I'm just letting it run. It's on 2% at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to skip this video now, right? It is 2, yep. I'm going to skip the video and then we're going to come back and see if we can hit the 61 to 70% target to see if it's accurate. This, bearing in mind, this is a quite a few years old machine now, but I haven't used it loads to be honest. So I just want to see how good it can compare to the other one or how much loss there is. If it's half, if it runs like 30%, then I know it's more like half battery compared to the 25,600. Anyway, guys, we're going to skip the video now and we'll come back later. Hello, and I'm back now and it has gone. The battery has drained down on the ZENDURE. If I just tap the button, you can see it's on the zeros now. It just goes off and there's nothing lighting up here. It's there's no light on it at all. If I just hold them together, when I click it, it's just 0 and there's no light at all. So the reality is our aim was for 61 to 70, wasn't it? Now when I turn it on, I can't tap it, so I've got to turn it on because it's not doing anything. So I'm just going to tap it. Here it goes. It's lighting up now. Now we're going to see what percentage we actually managed to get to. Can you see that? I'm trying to get it up. 34% is where we got to. There we have it. 34%. That means, judging by the figures, that this phone would run under, if it would have done around about 40%, something like that, every percentage on the power bank, on this power bank, every percentage on this power bank, if it was based on say 40, would have got me roughly around about what the mixx charge should have got, which is 15,000 milliamps. That would have got me roughly around 500% on my phone, which would be 5 charges. However, it was under that figure. Basically, it was under half of the figure that I'd originally wanted, which was 70%. So you know, at 34, 35%, you're looking at under probably 4.5 charges, maybe on a something like this, which is pretty much on the mixx charge one of 15,000 milliamps. That should have been getting me 5 charges. But it turns out that it will get me about 2.5 charges. So half of that figure is 7,500 for a 15,000 milliamp battery. This one is a 25,600, and judging from the figures, that is also half. And so that means that I'd be getting around about upwards of 4 charges. So really I should have been getting 5 charges from the mixx amp, which would be half, so that'd be 2.5, and I should have been getting around 8 for this and probably getting around 4. So it seems to be around half of the mark. Now this one is, as I said, an older one, which is about a few years old, but I haven't used it that much. But you know what? I still feel, because the mixx charge one was brand new. I mean, literally, I did the test from day one when I unpacked it. So you could argue that this one, oh yeah, it's years old, you know, blah blah blah. But I haven't used this one as much as you'd think. You know, I haven't used it hardly at all over those years. I've used it, but obviously not to the extent that some people use theirs. But the point I'm making is the fact that that mixx charge one was brand spanking new, and this one may not be, but they're both sort of relatively the same. And I kind of think if I'd have done the test on this years ago, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't much difference. So in other words, if you're buying say a 10,000 milliamp battery, expecting to charge, say, something like this at 2,900, sort of 3 times at least, you know, 3 times and a bit more, I think you could pretty much safely say that you need to knock half of that figure off because it seems wrong. It shouldn't be. It should be what they say. But the reality is, if you're going for, say, a 10,000 milliamp battery, you're probably better off getting a 20,000 because the reality is you'll probably end up with 10 anyway. And if you're going for a 10, you'll end up with a 5. If you get a 5, you'll probably end up with 2.5. It just seems to be that sort of figure. Anyway, I've got another power bank, which is a wallet one. It's a wallet one with a smaller battery in. It's only got 1,800, so it should get me about 62% on this, judging from the 1,800. So I'd like to do a test on that one as well to see the smaller power banks, how accurate they are, or whether that's going to be half of 1,800, which would be about 900, in which case that would get me again half of that figure of 62, which would be 31. So if you want to stay up to date with that, and you want to subscribe and click the bell notification, I don't just do these videos. I do a bit of everything. I do gaming, I do comedy episodes, the Yanu and Little D show, Yanuine special. There's pretty much everything I do. Just dabble in everything. But yeah, just click the subscribe button and click the bell notification, and you'll be notified whenever I do a video, especially the new little wallets, pocket wallet one I've got, power bank, to see how accurate that is. So anyway, guys, I hope this helped you. And if you're a happy gamer and you know it and you want to see me again, click the subscribe button and remember my name, Yanu Dasu. See you later, guys.